Well, good morning, folks. Today is June 8th, 2023. My name is John Boucher. I am the Vice Chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party. This is our latest update in our video series to keep you informed of what's going on with the Montgomery County Republican Party. So let's jump right into it. Today is about elected officials who are financing the divide in our party and why. In 2018, a group out of Magnolia, Texas, started the Republican Voters of Texas Political Action Committee, a PAC, if you will. This was to work against conservatives in the general election. That group was upset with some conservatives in the county, so they formed this PAC and did something no one has ever seen before. They put the word Republican in their name and they endorsed against Republicans in a general election. Now, that was the first PAC that anyone can remember in Montgomery County that used the word Republican in their name to endorse candidates in a primary. And since then, they've only used that PAC in the primary where Republicans are running against Republicans, and they misrepresent this voter guide to their voter guide to voters and say, here's the Republican voter guide, and it's not. But since that Republican Voters of Texas PAC was condemned by the local party for that deceptive, dirty electioneering, they have since started other PACs. That same group, led by our party chairman and his wife, have now started a couple of new organizations using the word Republican in the titles. And one of these PACs is their brand new Montgomery County Republican Club PAC. Now, voters will note that these people are still running the only organizations in Montgomery County that are putting out a voter guide for the primary election using the word Republican in their name. That's a tactic designed to make voters think that the candidates they are endorsing are endorsed by the Republican Party, but they are not. The Republican Party does not endorse in a primary. So what they are doing is very dishonest. It's deceptive to hand that to voters and say, here's the Republican Party slate when it's not. Now, this identity theft of the Republican brand in the primary election is the central reason for the divide in our Montgomery County Republican Party. To state it clearly, the conflict exists between those who want to protect the Republican brand and its principles and all that it stands for, and those who really don't care about the party or the principles or the rules, but they would prefer just to wear the Republican Party brand as a costume for their own gain, for their own personal gain. Our chairman's wife owns and operates Southern Heritage Consulting, and she runs political campaigns for clients. And so it's not surprising that her clients would be funding these PACs, Kristen Christ and Brian Christ PACs. It's not surprising at all that they'd be funding it because they're essentially funding their own campaigns. They benefit from those confusing and deceptive mailers and voter guides that these PACs send out. So of course they're going to fund it. As to the other people donating to these PACs, I can only assume that I have to approach this with the belief that the donors, they don't know what's going on. They don't want to believe that somebody would do something so underhanded, or there's just a willful blindness because maybe they're afraid. But who in their right mind would fund their opponents' campaigns? And that's essentially what these other donors are doing. Now, the Republican Club of Montgomery County, this PAC, is having a Continue the Legacy fundraiser, which, as I mentioned in a letter to the elected officials, which I'll refer to in a minute, is supposedly continuing the legacy of Dr. Wilkerson. And Dr. Wilkerson was one of the guys who decried this use of the Republican name to endorse in primaries because the Republican Party doesn't endorse in primaries. So how ironic that these people would use this very tactic and trade on the name of Dr. Wilkerson, who passed away a couple years ago, as a fundraiser. It's disgusting, really. It's a fact that the chairman is using his title as a chairman of the party to raise money for these PACs, all while claiming that the money is just going for the benefit of the Republican Party. However, it is very important to note that the money that they are raising is going directly into their PAC's account, not the Republican Party account. And because I believe that what they are doing is highly unethical, in my capacity as vice chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party, I felt obligated to write a letter to all the elected officials in the county regarding this matter to let them know what was going on, because they need to know. So now they know, and a copy of this letter will be linked at the bottom of this video. In July, the Texas Ethics Commission will publish its campaign finance reports, and we'll get to see at that point who is funding the divide in the Montgomery County Republican Party. We'll see the donor list for these PACs that the chairman and his wife are starting and participating in. At the County Executive Committee on Tuesday, June 6, 2023, just 2 days ago, a resolution was unanimously passed that stated that when those TEC reports for the chairman and his wife's PACs are available, the names of those donors will be sent to the party's entire database of voters, as well as published on the party's official website and social media outlets. This way, when voters show up at the polls in the primary election and someone hands them one of these voter guides from one of these Republican Party imposter PACs and says, here's the Republican voter guide, the voter at that point should be informed enough to decide if they want to vote for these candidates who are not only participating in this deception, but are actually financing it, and they're financing the divide in the party. Now, for those candidates who have given money to the chairman and his wife's new PACs, while being assured by the chairman and his wife that they will not endorse in the primary, if that's true, then you have no need to worry, because but since past behavior is usually a great indicator of future behavior, I would just submit to you that you're taking a really big risk, because the Republican Party in Montgomery County will not stand silent while the Republican brand is abused and outright hijacked, and every effort will be made to inform voters of what is happening and who is doing it. The Republican Party believes in election integrity, and this was stated clearly as our first legislative priority by the thousands of Republicans that just attended the state convention last year. And while the Republican Party does not endorse in the primary, that's true, the local party will certainly continue to stand up for election integrity by calling out all those who would hide behind the Republican brand while perverting the election process for personal gain. I think voters should be aware of who is doing this, and I would hope you would agree. On a closing note, I would just like to say that anyone whose name appears on that donor list, on those TEC reports for these PACs, you should really never speak to me again about uniting the party or about complaining about the divide in the party, because you are causing it. You are funding it. Because it is true, without the financial backing of you, these bad actors would not be able to carry out these nefarious schemes. So you are responsible for this. If you weren't doing what you were doing, there would be no divide in the party, and there would be a whole lot less conflict going on. So that's all I got to say. God bless you all. I hope you are having a great week, and please keep checking the Montgomery County Republican Party official website at www.mctxgop.org for more video updates. Until next time, we'll see you soon.